we are discussing about this Shuddhitraya. I started with that, Shuddhitraya. The other 3 points, the second way of looking at the three strands of the Yajnopavitam. So it is Shuddhitraya. So this also is something to be achieved in our life. 3 types of Shuddhis. Now the 3 phases are, the one is what we think. That is one level. At the level of thinking, we should achieve purity. You may call it as purity of thought. Then the second one is purity of words. So whatever we speak has to be pure. Then the third one is purity of action. Manasa, Vacha, Kayena. So we should achieve these 3 Shuddhis. Purity of thought, purity of words, purity of action. Now what do you mean by purity of thought? From there we have to understand what is purity of thought, purity of words and purity of action. Now when we speak of purity of thought, we are human beings, straight. So whatever thought that comes to us, which is befitting a human being, you will call it as purity of thought. Now what is that? The purpose of human life is to strengthen the soul, to purify the soul. That's the purpose. So whatever we think in accordance with this goal of our human life, we call it as pure. That's the definition for that. So any thought that strengthens the soul, that purifies the soul, we call it as purity of thought. Now you have heard of this Arishat Varga. That is the internal enemies. We have heard about that. That is Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. Now these 6 enemies within us will pull us down and will weaken the soul and will disturb the soul and make it impure. These are the impurities that are in us. So whatever thought that comes to our mind, if it is prompted by Kama or Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya, we should be alert about it. If you are not alert about it, it will silently disturb us, subconsciously disturb us, and finally pull us down, and the very purpose of human life is lost. We had a great opportunity of strengthening our soul as a human being, we will lose it. Taking birth in any other species other than human, this process cannot happen. We can strengthen ourselves, our souls, only when we are in human life. That's why this human life is called as Karma Yoni. And all other species, they come under another very big classification called as Bhoga Yoni. When we are in Bhoga Yoni, it is not possible for us to improvise ourselves. It is possible for us to improvise only when we are in this Karma Yoni. Now this Karma Yoni is the very purpose of human life is to strengthen the soul and purify it, not get disturbed. And the disturbing factors are this Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. So every time when we think, when some thought comes to us, we should check it then and there and say, is it prompted by, is it motivated by Kama? Kama is desire. Now once again, is a desire wrong? Desire may be wrong, may not be wrong. Desire is okay. If the desire strengthens the soul, the desire is good, it's positive desire. If the desire pulls down the soul and makes it weaker, that is something to be abhorred, that is something to be left out. This we have to check every time when a desire sprouts in our minds. Krodha, anger. Now once again, is anger bad or is anger right? Now it depends upon the effect of it. Now positive anger is there and that is called as Manyu in Vedas. Manyu. Manyu is a positive anger and it is helpful for the upliftment of the soul, strengthening of the soul. It's mere anger, then it is something to be discarded. So whether my anger is influenced by or can be categorized as manyu or krodha, that we have to find out. If it is manyu, excellent. If it is krodha, we have to leave it. Now how to understand the two? When krodha is there, it disturbs our soul, the mind, and is reflected in our body also. We shiver, we shake, we sweat, BP goes up. These are the results of that krodha. But if it's manyu, none of these things will happen. It's a wonderful thing that we have to observe. Now, in simple terms, manyu is that which is against injustice. Is against injustice. Is against inhuman happenings. If something inhuman happens, we will not be able to tolerate it, and we raise our voice. We fight against it. That is manyu, that is not krodha. Whereas for our selfishness, for our other intolerances, if we flare up, that is called as krodha. That is dangerous. So this we should be able to analyze. Have I taught you this mantra? Ulukayatum Shushulukayatum. Do you remember? Have you done it or not? Ulukayatum Shushulukayatum. You don't remember, Shriram?
No.
Okay. Once you will take it. It's a beautiful mantra what I got, which in detail discusses about these things. I'm just rushing through now here. We will take that mantra next time. And it is very, very interesting. Lobha, kama, krodha, lobha. Lobha is avariciousness. Asking of something is okay. But asking for something in large measure, we call it as lobha. Beyond what we can digest. If you ask for it, it is called as lobha. Now this lobha will spoil the soul, will weaken the soul. So we should be careful about it. Okay, when you want something, whether I am asking it in the right measure or in disproportionate measure, we have to check it. If it is the right measure, which matches my need for the time being, excellent. There is no lobha. And we call it as need. But if I am asking for something which is disproportionate, beyond my need, we call it as greed. That greed is lobha. Now that spoils the soul, that pollutes the soul, that pulls down the soul. And the shuddhi of the soul, as the shuddhi of the thought, is not achieved. Moha is infatuation. That once again beyond limits. To get attached to people and things, okay, that's fine. But it has to be well within limits and with alertness. If that alertness is not there, if you get attached to things and people too much, that we call it as infatuation. There's a small separating line. That line is very thin. On this side, it's okay. Just beyond that line, it becomes infatuation. That infatuation spoils us. That infatuation pulls us down. So you should be very careful. That impures our thoughts. If our thoughts are prompted by infatuation, we are lost. You should be careful about it. Mada is ego. Once again, ego is okay as long as it is within limits. But if it crosses it, then it spoils us. So is my thought within the limits of ego, or it is beyond that limit? That we have to check every time when a thought comes to us. You should be very careful every time when a thought comes to us. And that decides whether it is strengthening the soul or it is putting down the soul. Matsarya, jealousy. I got a problem with that. We are not able to achieve something because of our weakness or because of our ignorance. Somebody does it. Really, we should appreciate, yes, they are capable of doing it and they have the knowledge to achieve it. But what we do is, because of our incapability, we become jealous about someone who has achieved it, which is not the right way of looking at things. So this makes the soul weak. And any thought prompted by this nature makes us weak and spoils it. So when we take care of all these things, whenever a thought comes to our mind, we should hold it and we should scrutinize it carefully, whether it is prompted by kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya or not. If it is not, fine. It's a pure thought. If it is prompted by any of these six, yes, you are into trouble. The purity of thought is not achieved. So we have to be very careful at every step, at every instance when we get a thought into our mind. This is achievement of purity of thought. Then this purity of thought gets translated into words. If we take care at the level of thought, purity of thought will automatically be taken care of. Sometimes, certain words come out of us, come out of our mouth unwillingly, without care. We should be careful about that. We get a thought, yes, we filter the thought at this stage. And in the second stage, whatever that thought gets converted into words, that also we have to take care of. One Veda mantra says, Saktumiva titavuna punantaha. Saktumiva titavuna punantaha. Saktu means the flower. Flour, flour. Titavuna, tita means the sieve that we use to sieve the floor. So if some dirt is there in the floor, it gets separated and the pure floor will come down when we sieve it. So it says, whenever we have to utter a word, we have to sieve it. Like we sieve the floor with the help of that sieve. So every word of ours which comes out of our mouth has to be filtered properly. Now what are the filters? It says elsewhere, the first one, it should be true. I am uttering some word. Is it true or is it a false thing? If it's true, yes, it has passed one filter. Satyam. Next it says, Priyam. Is it in a pleasing way I am expressing it? Maybe the real thing what I have to express is not pleasing, but have I tried my level best to make it as pleasing as possible? This exercise you have to do before uttering a word. Satyam, Priyam. Next it says, Hitam. Is it really soothing? Is it really helping the one who speaks and the one who listens? Is it helpful to them? Is it useful to them? Then Mitam, brevity. Am I speaking unnecessarily? Am I speaking or conveying my thought in as simple and as short as possible? Satyam, Priyam, Hitam, Mitam. These are the filters. Finally, is it just a theory or is it based on your experience? Now, whatever I am talking, if it is based on my experience, it carries great weight. If you just say, I have read somewhere, I am just quoting it, it is weightless. Because my experimentation, my experience, my understanding of it is missing there. Whatever you speak should be based on our own experience, our own understanding, our own experimentation. It cannot be just quoting from somewhere and passing it to somebody else. You should have passed it through our life. You should have passed it through our practice. You should have passed it through our experimentation, experience. Then only the words carry weight and will have an influence on the listener, a positive influence on the listener. Satyam, Priyam, Hitam, Mitam, Swanubhavam. Is it based on our own experience? Now when all these things are checked, before we utter a word, something comes to our mind to talk. The words come here, the sentences come here. But before it gets translated into sound, which somebody can listen, these 5 filters have to be applied.
What is the fifth one?
We are achieving purity of word.
What is the fifth one, Sharma?
Then is purity of words. Then purity of action. Now whatever we do has to be in accordance with, I repeat, in accordance with what we have thought, what we have uttered. Fifth one, that is kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada. Mada is egoistic. Egoistic. Mada is, yes, I am great. I need not listen to anyone else.
I think fifth is swanubhava. He's asking about swanubhava.
Okay. I was going back. Okay, here it is. Satyam, Priyam, Hitam, Mitam and Swanubhava. Yes, Swanubhava. So I went back to those Arishadvarga. Okay. Swanubhava. It should be based on our first-hand experience. Then we will be an authority to speak about it. We don't have that Swanubhava. If we don't speak based on our experience, it is hollow. It's hollow. It doesn't have that strength. Because I just uttered, I don't know what it is. Swanubhava is not there. Swanubhava, yes. Now, whatever we have uttered, it should be translated into action as it is, in accordance with that. If we think something, if we talk something, and if we do something, yes, that is no purity of action. Purity of action is whatever we have spoken, accordingly we have to put it into action. There should be some coherence between what we talk and what we do. Whatever we do, it should match with what we have spoken, what we have thought. What we have spoken is audible. Yes, we know what it is. So we can match what we have talked and what we are doing. But what we have thought, that only we know and only God knows. Nobody else can know. If some thought comes to my mind, I know it. God knows it. And nobody else can know it. Even then, matching our talk and matching our action with our thought is very, very important. And that's what we call it as honesty. It's called as honesty. Matching the thought, the words and the action. Coordination between all the three. Coherence, convergence of all the three is what is called as purity of thought, purity of words and purity of action. Whatever we speak, our action should match it perfectly. We should not go this way or that way. Now that is called as purity of action. Now all these three have to be in such a way that it will strengthen the soul. So that's a basic underlying principle. It should strengthen the soul and that will purify the soul, and that is the very purpose of human life. I'm just eat, drink, sleep, reproduce and get out. It's an animal's life. It's not a human life. It's a bhoga yoni. If I'm able to strengthen my soul, this is a great opportunity I have got as a human being. Yes, the purpose of human life is achieved. So for that, you have to take care of all the three, the thoughts, the words and the actions. This we call it as three karana shuddhi. Three karana. The three karanas are the thoughts, the words and the action. So all the three have to match, have to converge, have to be complementary to one another, and by making all the three together, matching them is what is called as shuddhi traya. Three karana shuddhi. So you'll be able to achieve that shuddhi. Now the person who is capable of, who strives for achieving this three karana shuddhi, shuddhi traya, manasika shuddhi, vak shuddhi and kaya shuddhi. Now that person will be able to strengthen his soul and achieve the purpose of this human life. And these three shuddhis, I will try to achieve in my life. Now taking that vow, taking that sankalpa, the person wears that trivrit, three-stringed thread, trivrit. That's the Yajnopavita. It has got three strings, and whenever he is able to touch it, whenever his body touches that thread with three strings, he should immediately remember, oh, the purpose of human life is to achieve the three purities, Shuddhitraya. So I have to be pure in thought, I have to be pure in words, I have to be pure in actions. So it reminds him again and again and again. So as a reminder, that is there. If you are not reminded of those three strings, then there is no meaning in wearing it. It's a big waste. It should remind us. It should remind us about the three runas, Ranatraya. It should remind us about these three purities, Shuddhitraya. Then we have got the next one. That is the Sadhanatraya. It's an extension of what I have been telling so far. Sadhanatraya, there is three things that we have to achieve. And it is possible only in, I repeat, only in human life. No other species of animal is capable of achieving these three. It's an exclusive opportunity, it's an exclusive privilege of a human being. What are they? Sadhanatraya. Jnana, Karma, Upasana. These are the three things. So the three strings here, they remind us about the Sadhanatraya to be achieved. Jnana, Karma, Upasana. We have to achieve Jnana, we have to achieve Karma, we have to achieve Upasana. How do you understand each one of them? Jnana. Jnana or knowledge is there for all living beings, all creatures, irrespective of human, animal, bird, insect, whatever it is. Everything has got jnana. Then what is there to achieve? It's there by birth. It is so sahaja. It's born with us. Then what is there to achieve? Now this jnana, we have to understand, is classified. One we call it as the instinctive knowledge. Swabhavika jnana or sahaja jnana. Instinctive. Every animal has got this. Every creature, every species has got this. Now what does this jnana restricted to? Nidra, ahara, bhaya, maithuna. This is a requirement of every animal, all species. Nidra, sleep, ahara, food, bhaya, fear, survival instinct, maithuna, reproduction. It's there. It's there in every animal. It is by birth. It's by birth. These four instincts are there, and whatever knowledge is required for this is there automatically. Nobody need achieve it. It is given. It is granted in the very first step. Now this we call it as Swabhavika Jnana. But here in this Sadhanatraya, the Jnana what we are speaking of is not this instinctive knowledge. It's not this Swabhavika Jnana, because the Swabhavika Jnana is already there. There's nothing to be achieved. Now the Jnana we are speaking of here is, we call it as Naimittika Jnana. Naimittika Jnana. Or you can say derived knowledge. It's not the exact translation. I'm giving the best what I can give. Derived knowledge. Inferred knowledge. Inferred and derived knowledge is called as Naimittika Jnana. What is this Naimittika Jnana? This Jnana is an exclusive privilege of human beings. Only human beings can get this knowledge. And this Naimittika Jnana is a result of our inquiry. Our inquiry. We ask why, how, when, what, for whom. Lot of questions we ask. Now questioning itself is a prominent feature of human beings. Animals cannot question, they just work according to their instincts. They know that questioning capacity. That questioning, that query, inquiry is a special phenomena, special feature of human beings. So I ask a lot of questions. Now when I ask a lot of questions, we try to find the answers. So the knowledge what we get as a result of our questioning, that knowledge is called as Naimittika Jnana. That Naimittika Jnana is a special, very, very special feature of human beings. If we don't question, we don't get that knowledge, then we are unfit to be called as human beings. Right? If we are to be called rightly as human beings, that questioning attitude should be there, that search for answers should be there, that discovery of truth should be there. Only then we are fit to be called as human beings. And the knowledge what we derive out of this process is called as Naimittika Jnana. Now this is something to be achieved. Now this is not by nature, this is not part of our gift by birth. No. Instinctive knowledge is by birth. There is nothing to be achieved, but this derived knowledge is something that we have to achieve. We cannot take things for granted. We have to search, we have to research, we have to question, we have to inquire and expand the horizon of our knowledge, and this is called as achieving of jnana. This is one that we have to achieve. Sadhana traya. In that sadhana traya, the first one is this jnana. More and more we realize, more and more we discover truth, happier and comfortable and peaceful will our life. And more strength is given to the soul. The soul becomes more and more pure and purer. Now this is a process. So achieving of jnana, realizing the truth, getting answers to all our queries, a search for it, is the very essence of human life. So achieving jnana is a very, very important thing. And this jnana, I am calling it as naimittika jnana. It is not swabhavika jnana. Swabhavika jnana is granted free to everyone. Naimittika jnana has to be achieved by our efforts, by our questioning, by our inquiry. Now this is one of the sadhana traya, jnana. Then second one is, in the sadhana traya, we have got karma. Okay, jnana we get, knowledge we get of so many things. But unless this knowledge what we have got is implemented, is practiced, we don't get the result. Now that's a very, very important thing. This jnana, this right jnana, this satya jnana should be translated into action. If it's not converted into action, if it's not translated into action, the results will not come. Knowing is important, of course, but mere knowing will not give the results. It should be implemented, it should be practiced, it should be converted into action. How? Now knowing this and really practicing it, experimenting it and experiencing it is something what we have to achieve. That's the second sadhana traya. That is karma. I have to practice. Say I know about truth, I know about honesty, I know everything about it. But if I am not honest in my life, will I get the result? Definitely not. I know a recipe. Wonderful, how it is to be done, everything. Yes, I have noted down. Will it fill my belly? No. Whatever recipe I have to really cook it and eat it. Then only my stomach will be full. My hunger will be quenched. So whatever we know has to be translated into action. Unless it's translated into action, it will have no impact on the strength of the soul or the purity of the soul. So converting the knowledge into real life practice is very, very important. That is what is called as karma. Now here we have got one very big problem. Okay, we know certain things, but when you start implementing it, you come across lot of problems, lot of hurdles, lot of obstacles. Yes, I want to be honest, but the environment around me, if it is not suitable, then being honest itself, it will be like a big punishment. Because the environment is not congenial, it's not supportive. Even then, to practice it decides our strength of the soul, decides us the purity of our thought, jnana, the purity of our knowledge. It's a fight. In some Veda mantras it says, Mahe Ranaya Chakshase. It says the whole world, the whole human life is like a war field. You are a warrior. You cannot go back. You have to fight it and win. So this is a spirit what they give us. This is an encouragement what they give us. So converting our knowledge into action is not a joke. It's not an easy thing. It's not a path of flowers. No. We have got thorns. We have got stones. It's a tough route. Doesn't matter, we will do it. Now every step we take in this route strengthens the soul, confirms the knowledge what we have got, and purifies the soul. And the very purpose of human life is achieved. For that, translating our knowledge into action, translating our theory into practical is very, very important. Jnana, karma. This has to be achieved with all perseverance. We cannot leave it in the middle. We have to take it and fight it out and proceed. Of course, the purpose of it is to strengthen the soul and help other souls also to become stronger and purer. We move together. We move together. That's also there in the Vedas. Every time when you speak of it, says some. Some means together. Some means together. Sama, it says equal and together. So it's a big task for us. It's not as easy as to lecture. When you start practicing, we know the ups and downs. We know the ins and outs of it. So it is a tough job. Yes, we will do it. We will achieve it. We are warriors. That is karma. The third one is still more important. That is upasana. Many people, they have knowledge. Many people, they practice it. But finally, they are devoid of humility. Vinaya. So we should be able to do all these things without the stamp of our ego. Yes, I have done something. I have knowledge. I have practiced and fine. But there are so many other factors which are the cause for the success of this. Not just my efforts, not just my knowledge. Of course, they are part of it. But just knowledge and just my practicing will not suffice. There are so many other forces which help us out. Known, unknown. Known factors, yes, we thank them. But what about the unknown factors? All those unknown factors we attribute it to that Satchidananda, God has helped us. So we thank God. That's what we say in yoga as Ishvara Pranidhana. Ishvara Pranidhana is to understand very clearly all those unknown factors which has come to our aid, which has come to our help. It's all the gift of God. It's all the blessings of God. And because of the existence of the Satchidananda, because of the support we have received from Satchidananda, because of the Satchidananda being with us always, yes, we are able to succeed. We are able to achieve. So this benevolence is very, very important. This Vinaya is very, very important. And that is called as Upasana. And what is the meaning of the word Upasana? Upasana, the meaning of it is He, that Satchidananda, is always with us. He is always with us in all our endeavors. We are not alone. We are not alone. Physically, people may observe that I am doing it alone, single-handed. But always with me is that great, omnipresent, omniscient, omnipotent power called Satchidananda. It's always with me. So because it is with me, because I am eligible to receive its help, yes, I am able to achieve this. It's not just because of my own effort. Of course, my effort is there. But my effort is supported by that great force, Satchidananda. To understand this is Upasana. We are not alone. We are always with that force. And that force will come to our aid, provided our aim is pure and altruistic and helpful to all human beings. If it is selfish, we receive very less support from that Satchidananda. More broad-minded we are, more selfless we are. Yes, the support what we get from that Satchidananda will be equally strong. So we want that Satchidananda to give us that strength. Definitely we have to be broad-minded, we have to be selfless. We should work for the welfare of not just us, but the whole society and the world. Of course, if the society gets the benefit, I will also get the benefit because I am part of it. I lose nothing. And along with me, so many of my fellow beings also will be benefited. With a broad mind if I work, yes, the assistance of Satchidananda will always be there. And to remember it, to seek for it, is what is called as Upasana. Now this is the sadhana-traya. This I have to do deliberately. It will not happen on its own. When we speak of sadhana-traya, we have got our role to play. It's not automatic. It is deliberate, conscious. My conscious effort should be there to know things, to know truth. There should be a conscious effort from my side to practice it. There should be a conscious and deliberate effort by me to remember that God is always with me. In all my good deeds, with all my things what I do, with good and broad and selfless goal. Now this is the sadhana traya. That is jnana, karma, upasana. Now to summarize, the first thing is to remember our duties in the form of runatraya, to get rid of all our debts. Devaruna, Pitruna, Acharyaruna. Then Shuddhitraya, purity of thought, purity of words, purity of action. Then achieving Sadhanatraya, that is Jnana, Karma, Upasana. Now to represent these three things in three ways is what is there as a symbol, the Trivrit. Tantum Tanvanaha Trivrit Yatha Vide. By that, what is the result? We will be able to know what is true. We will be able to know the things in the right way. Yatha Vide, as it is. You just recollect. By going through all these 3 plus 3 plus 3, we will be able to understand what our human life is. What we have to do. What's the difference between tantum and tanvana? Tantum tanvana. Tantum is that string. Tanvana to expand it. So it is there just as a string. But when I start understanding it as symbol and understanding this and expanding it and imbibing it in my life, this Trivrit, that Trivrit, which is a string, has to be expanded. It's just a code. That code I have to decode it. When I decode it, I'll be able to know things as they are, yathavide. Now, by understanding all these things, if a person wears the sacred thread, just imagine how the life gets transformed to a better human being. Without knowing it, if I just wear it, it is totally useless and meaningless. Lost thing. When we remember, after wearing this sacred thread, Trivrit, if you remember this, because it reminds us about our Ranatraya, Shuddhitraya, Sadhanatraya, and we need to practice it in our life over a period, when practicing of all these things becomes part and parcel of our life. And there is nothing to remind us because it has become already part of life and there is no question of forgetting it. Then this thread can be thrown out, it is of no use at all. Because all these things have gone into our life, has become a part of our life. At that stage, this Yajnopavita Trivrit is not necessary. Because we are living such a life. Once we live such a life, reminding is not necessary because we are living it. So when you reach that stage, this Yajnopavitam would be there. If it is not there also, we lose nothing. Now why I am telling this is, usually when we go for this sannyasa samskara, they throw away this thread. They are not bound even by this thread. Because they say, it has become part of my life. There is nothing to remind me. And the question of reminder comes when you have forgotten. No, it's part of my life. The sannyasi lives such a life. So when a sannyasi lives such a life, he is not bound by reminders. It's all gone. It's all meaningless. Redundant. So it is thrown out. And usually sannyasi doesn't wear an Yajnopavita. Even if he wears, there is nothing wrong in that. Nothing wrong in that. But if he doesn't wear also, no harm is done. Because all these things what I have told has become part of his life. Only such a person is eligible to take sannyasa. It is not percolated into his life. He is not fit to take sannyasa. Sannyasa is not just the change of color of the robe. Sannyasa is a state of mind. Sannyasa is an approach to life. When these things have become the very part of the life, yes, he is fit to be a sannyasi. And there, this Trivrit is not a must. But for all others who are in the process of understanding this, practicing this, they need a reminder. They need a reminder because sometimes we forget about it. So to remind us, we have got this. Tantum tanvanas trivritam yathavide. So as long as you are with these three stringed, three-stranded yajnopavitam, yes, we'll be able to know things, we'll be able to remind ourselves about the facts of life, the purpose of life. So that's the meaning of this piece of Veda mantra. So though it's just a piece of Veda mantra, I think we have taken 2 to 3 classes to understand it. Yes, that's the power of Vedic language. What we have to understand over a period of 2 to 3 hours, it is just told us within a few words. Tantum, Tanvanaha, Trivit, Yatha, 5 words. So the Vedic language is so powerful that is capable of packing in itself lot of concepts, lot of things, lot of knowledge. This is one such example. I have seen so many things. I got a lot of examples. This is also one of the examples. Thank you. Next class, we'll discuss about that mantra, Ulukayatam Shushulukayatam, which speaks about the 6 enemies in us, Arishadvarga, and how to overcome it, how to handle it, etc. So many things are there in it. It's a very interesting mantra that we'll discuss in the next class. Okay, thank you very much, all of you.